Manager 2023 is out now, and today I have the start of our beta save. If you're new around here, first and foremost, a warm welcome back. I am Jack, also known as WorkTheSpace. Here we play Football Manager. I do guides on Football Manager. I like Football Manager. Today we are kicking off our beta save with Arsenal. Of course, Arteta has got his side playing some phenomenal football in real life, and here in FM, we're going to be looking to replicate that success. In the background, you can see me setting up the save game for the first time, so if you want to follow along and set up things the exact same way as me, you absolutely can. And with this beta save, the aim is going to be, well, hopefully the best team in England. Maybe try and do an unbeatable season again. I feel like that might be a slightly lofty ambition, but nevertheless, I'm quite keen to get into things today. Still not bought FM23? I've got some good news for you. I've teamed up with SEGA-approved retailer Fanatical to get you an amazing deal on the game that is 29% cheaper than on Steam. Check out the link in the description to find out more info. So here we are at Arsenal Football Club. If you're sat wondering, Jack, why does your Football Manager look different to mine? Consult the links down in the description. We have links to logo pack and face pack videos. The skin I'm using is the WTCS skin that is available for download. Again, link is down below. And with this series, videos are going to be coming thick and fast almost daily at midday. So if you have an office job, you live in England, I've got your lunch break covered. Before we get too far into this video, I want to set an expectation. Today, we're not doing the first match of the season, at least in this episode, but if this video gets to 2,000 likes inside the first 5 hours, there will be a second Arsenal episode up later today. Rather than me rush through pre-season and rush the video out the door, I'd rather spend today setting the scene, and then we can return in a few hours' time at the end of, well, pre-season, hopefully with a new player or two, ready for our first game of the year, which is against Southampton. So you got that to look forward to. Now, first and foremost, we should take a look at our key player, Gabriel Jesus, the man who has inspired me to wear a Brazil shirt to hopefully be BFFs with him. I feel like this man is going to be so imperative to our success. And to be honest, he is an absolutely phenomenal talent in real life and in Football Manager. Signed for £45 million, of course, never was really given a chance at Man City. For us, I'm fairly certain he's going to be our main man alongside, well, another phenom of Brazilian football, and that is Gabriel Martinelli. This man, I've been blown away by how good he is. I'm going to be quite keen to get him signing a new deal with his current contract running out in 2 years. And of course, the big thing with this Arsenal squad is it's a young squad. It is a squad with talent, with a bright future, and well, we're going to be looking to shape that. And I suppose another one of the really bright talents that we have is Bukayo Saka, a man who I'm not really sure what the plan is with. He's such a weird player in FM, and I suppose in real life. He's played left back, he can play on either wing, you could probably play him down in the middle if you want. I'm not really sure what my plan is for him, or indeed the team as we sit here for episode 1. Let me know what you would do with Saka down in the comments. Ultimately, he is one of our best players, a star youngster, a player who I feel like has so much ability going forward, it'd be wasted at the back. I feel like he, alongside Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus, are going to be a rather exciting powerhouse front three. And of course, to complete the trifecta of the best players in the team, alongside the likes of Saka and Gabriel Jesus, we have the one and only Martin Odegaard, the club captain, 23 years old. I remember when he first was added to Football Manager, when his dad gave Football Manager permission to put him in at the age of 15. I don't see us playing him as anything other than an advanced playmaker, professional personality with the players around him. I think we've got to play a 4-2-3-1, as uninspired as that might be. So I've talked about the 4 attacking talents, so I suppose further back we should look at the other areas of the pitch. In goal, we only really have one option, Aaron Ramsdale, a player who I'm going to hope we can get on the plane for England's national team. Of course, in this first season, we are going to have a Winter World Cup to contend with. So that's going to be a little bit of a weird thing to navigate, but nevertheless, Ramsdale is absolutely phenomenal at the back. And in terms of centre-backs, we've got some really good options here as well. William Saliba, a man in real life who has really, really impressed me. He's looked superb. A bit of a revelation, I suppose, this year under Arteta after a few years out on loan. He's returned from Marseille and looks great. And another man who I think is going to be one of our main players this year is Ben White. 24 years old, looks very good in Football Manager, kind of the jack of all trades, master of none. I feel a little bit underwhelmed that there's not any kind of yellow attributes above 15 on his entire profile. Of all the areas on the pitch that I look at right now, right back is maybe the one area where I have some question marks. I like Tomiyasu, I think he's a good player. I'm not sure if he's a great player, at least in Football Manager terms, and our only backup right back to him is Ben White. So with that in mind, maybe right back's an area to look at for a new player. Elsewhere, of course, we've got Kieran Tierney, who when he's fit is great, but also Zinchenko, who of course, like Gabriel Jesus, joined the club just this summer, and I'll be honest, Zinchenko is absolutely mad in game. He can play absolutely anywhere. There's probably a world where we play Tierney as the regular starting left back, and Zinchenko actually ends up playing in midfield. So having had a little bit of a fiddle with the team, this is kind of the starting 11, which I think will be my go-to for this first year. Of course, the transfer window is open. We could look to sign some players ahead of the first game of the season. £26 million in the transfer budget gives us some flexibility. Having picked a starting 11, you can see there's plenty of other talent to look to get into the team. Of course, Thomas Partey, a somewhat controversial figure who I might see if we can offer out and get some good money for. Elsewhere in the team, Nicolas Pepe is currently out on loan. I don't think he's going to be back before the end of the year. If he returns, do we have to play him? Would we play him? Is he good enough? I'll be honest, I look at him and I'm a tad underwhelmed. And of course, one player who it's very easy to forget about because Arsenal have strengthened their team so much in recent years, Fabio Vieira, 22 years old, will probably start on the bench for us, but an incredible kind of creative force who, I don't know, could be a really good impact sub for us this season. Having reviewed the squad, I was a little bit worried that due to the lack of slightly older players, maybe our hierarchy would be a bit of a mess, but actually, we look like we're in quite good stead. Xhaka and Odegaard considered leaders, lots of highly influential players who I intend to play regular first-team football, so that is a big thumbs up. Yeah, normally you come in with a young squad worrying about these things. I'm feeling remarkably calm about the dynamics right now. Of course, in FM23, we have the lovely squad planner feature, a feature that I'm still trying to get the most out of. Like I said, I feel like right back's a weak spot, and when I look at the squad planner, kind of reinforces that idea. Tomiyasu is our best player. We then have Cedric and Ben White who can play right back. When you compare that to every other position, maybe with the exception of goalkeeper, I feel like it's kind of clear that that is the one area of the pitch where we lack players. Arsenal are a team who are so well put together that unlike perhaps some similar Let's Plays I've done in the Premier League in the past, I don't feel like I need to go and sign 4 or 5 new players. I think we're going to be looking at 1 or 2 quality additions going into the season. In my inbox, I've just got an inbox item regarding the supporter profile. Of course, this is a new feature in Football Manager. But let's be honest, the Arsenal fans, they're not always the most patient. In terms of the supporter profile, we've got a strong contingent of core and family fans, a few fair weather fans, but nothing too out of the ordinary in that regard. In terms of expectations for this year, they want Europa League, they want attacking and entertaining football, and perhaps most importantly, they want us to finish above Tottenham and Manchester United. If we just take a quick look at the board expectations, They want a little bit more. They want us to challenge for the Europa League, which of course we compete in this year. They want us to qualify for the Champions League, which means a top 4 finish. As things stand, our media prediction is 4th. So yeah, the board's expectations are lofty. The season preview has us down in 6th. This could be a tough little year. I feel like the board have high expectations. In real life, Arteta's set the bar so high with Arsenal start to the year. I'm wondering if I've picked the wrong team to manage. So like I already said, I think right back is an area where we want to look to address this year. I don't necessarily need a starter. I think between Tomiyasu and Ben White, we can kind of deal with it. Let's look for a 15 to 21-year-old right back. This is going to be an ongoing focus. Ideally, we would address it this summer. That said, I don't feel like there's a super strict deadline on this one. I am somewhat conscious of the fact, of course, that we are in the Europa League. And in terms of our schedule for the season, it's rather front-loaded, of course, with that big winter break following a final game before the World Cup against Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the opening few months of the year, rotation is going to be rather important. There's something quite amusing by the fact that in our scouting recommendations, I've spotted a wild Yuri Tillemans, of course, a player who has long been linked with Arsenal. Transfer value of between 30 and 43 million means he might be a little bit tricky to pry away from Leicester. Of course, his contract expires at the end of the year. Maybe I should have an eye on him. Let me know what you think. Of course, one thing that I've got to remember this year is that I do get 5 subs in the Premier League from a choice of 9. So squad depth is actually more important than ever. With that in mind, it's probably important that I do spend the remaining money that we have. I was just having a quick look at our staff as well. And to be honest, It's not very good, is it? I mean, look at this medical team. We've got 2 spots for physios. I am getting in 2 new physios because we have some of the worst in the Premier League. This physically hurts to stare at. I'm going to have to sort this, hopefully before the start of the season. I'm not expecting the most chaotic pre-season, but I do feel like we've got lots of little bits to focus on. With that in mind, I'm going to go and do pre-season and return next time. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's episode. As I mentioned earlier, if this video gets to 2,000 likes inside the first 5 or so hours, we will have a second episode up later today. Let me know in the comments what you make of this Arsenal team. What should I be looking to do with the squad? Who are you managing in the beta as well? Let me know that down in the comments. Besides that, if you are new around here, firstly, welcome aboard. I hope you're excited for more Football Manager content like this. Hopefully I see you guys in a few hours for episode number 2. And until then, it is me, Jack, and I'll see you all next time. I'm out.